Right, so let's hop into it. Let's have a look. So yeah, so what was the comp this game? Do you know? Who were you against?
Yi jungle
Okay.
with Ignite.
Oh, was this the one you went Goat Drinker?
Yeah, this was.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
like I said, I kind of just have been like autopiloting and not really playing
Okay.
with much intent. But I couldn't
Yeah.
find any games where anything went like really bad that I had recorded lately. So
Okay. So
this is the
in
most recent
general,
one.
kind of what you want to do is only really play rank do when you are kind of
Yeah,
focused. Otherwise, you're
yeah,
just gonna kind of grief yourself. This is a bit of a messy
yeah,
start, but
yeah. I'm really not worried about getting chunked because I got fleet, but
yeah.
it's still
So this is fine. Insights is very slow though. Damn.
really.
There we go. So let's see. Right, so it's starting blue. So why did you start blue this game?
Just to have the leash bot side. Plus,
Okay.
it's just kind of wanted to match Yi.
Okay. So try and avoid just starting a buff just because it's bot side leash. I mean, this game it is correct, but
Right.
that's because you've got a Renekton top who has a ton of CC for you. In
Hmm.
general though, like you want to start whatever's good to start, not just kind of randomly
I've been
start.
trying like Red Raptor's Gromp quite a bit, but it got mixed success.
So to be
I
honest,
just
on Graves you can just full clear for the first clear. That's fine.
mm-hmm.
Okay, this is being a little bit slow. Hello? Insights, please. Alright, there we go. So, mm, mm, okay. So this is fine at the moment. So you're counting the camps at least. Okay. So we're keeping an eye on top with FKs, which is good, and mid, which is also good. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Insight, but it's extremely laggy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here this was kind of bad. We skipped Raptors. Now,
Right.
when you're going for this kind of full clear, like you want to, oh my god, so they want to top what? When you want to
Yeah.
full clear, like make sure that you take them, especially considering with your Q being AoE, it's like really, really quick for you to take them,
Mm-hmm.
which is really, really good for you. Like I said, on Graves, your main goal is to basically farm everything on first rotation so that you can get um, so you can get a serrated Dirk early.
Yes, I got in a little fight with with Yi here. I thought he might come to my red, which is why I kind of went there when I saw him on
Yeah.
the map.
Mm,
He's got ignite advantage here.
okay, so this is fine. Renekton should get this.
Yeah.
Oh, Ari got it.
Um,
Okay, nice.
Ari rotates up too, actually. Bronze rotation.
Okay. Okay, Leona trying to fight this. So use your W earlier as well. Like, you see how
It
you use
just
it like super, super late?
it just came up and I was stunned, but
So
yeah.
like here, just whack it down. I guess it's okay, yeah.
But no, I does a dumb play.
I mean,
And also I failed my flash like right before
yeah.
that because I wasn't paying attention where my cursor was.
Here, yeah. The thing is, like in this situation as well, like you don't really need to flash forward. Like, they've already got that kill on you, it doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, just save your flash in general. Like, there's no need to kind of rush it.
This I was kind of frustrated
Yeah.
because he turned to start chasing that Akali and
Huh.
kind of left me to
Yeah.
get stunned.
Yeah, so another thing you want to do here as well is you could have bounced your Q off the wall.
Yeah.
So you're always looking for Qs off the wall because it'll do the damage almost instantly,
Right.
which is what you want really. Okay. So yeah, so this is, so see what's happening now, like we've ended up resetting and look how close we were to Serrated Dirk. So you always want to
Right.
try and get, because I mean we're running Futures Market as well, which is good, which means we can literally just full clear all of our jungle, go for like one
Yeah.
gank just for kind of a little bit of pressure, and then reset and we'll always have a Serrated Dirk because we've got,
Mhm.
Futures Market. So, like, one of the big things, and this happens a lot in these elos, is don't feel like you're rushed to do anything in your first few clears. Your first few clears are
Okay.
for you. So, same way as, say, if you're playing a lane, you wouldn't rotate on your first few clears unless it's really free. You also wouldn't do the same in jungle. You wouldn't say go for a fight unless it's, like, really, really free. Now, granted, Yi might have come to your red earlier, but it doesn't really matter too much.
Mhm.
We also could have just left that Leona and just walked away and let Renekton deal with it, and then we could have cleared our camps and then reset with enough to... Okay. So another thing, like when you're autoing this, make sure you're FKing around seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of just like being a mini map watcher
Yeah.
rather than F King.
Just because, like right now, for example, we didn't see anything that really went down in bot lane. Also, when you're clearing your camps here as well, since you're going to reset for Dirk anyway, you may as well just put your W down and then just keep autoing them back into the smoke screen. Because it can't hit you if it's in the smoke screen.
It's one of the reasons I like Fleet Graves though too. Is this full health clears like, all the time.
Yeah.
But it does require that you like micro a little bit more, so less time
Yeah.
to look at the map maybe.
I don't know why this keeps pausing. Okay. So here, like, we have Dirk in base. We're just wasting time, see? Like, so after
Yeah,
you
I
clear that camp...
decided to stay out to clear bot side, but I should have dirked back for Dirk here.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, why else do you think you should have backed for Dirk? What also is happening on the map right now?
Drags up.
Okay, that's one thing. But Senna's also recalling, right?
Right.
So we're going to be in a position now where we finish clearing, Senna's back on the map, and then we're recalling.
Okay.
Which, again, when we have Dirk, we're going to be more than strong enough to do the dragon. So making sure to just kind of... Like, it was good for you to reset anyway. And also one of your laners was resetting that you're going to need for the next objective you're going for. So in general, it's just good to recall there.
Yeah. I make a really stupid play coming up here.
It's okay. Like, if we get to it,
You'll see.
insight lag is crazy.
Yeah. That is weird. I haven't experienced that, but...
Yeah, I'm not too sure. So... Okay, so you use gank bot. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me just swap internet. That might be.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. There we go. I'm on my phone now. Hopefully that's better.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the big things here is that we don't even know what really happened. So see how we FK over mid there? Like, it's good to use those F keys, but you have to also be getting something out of it. But also, I mean, to be fair, we would have got here in time even if we had have got that reset off. So here we're not really going to get anything done.
No, and I'm thinking about needing to back here.
I mean, we could have
That's
just
where I
gone
ended
for
up.
crab straight away.
Yeah,
so
that's where I get dumpstered.
yeah, because we revealed when we didn't really need to.
I honestly thought he was gonna back because he was running back towards his try, but and then he must have saw the crab came up, so he went for crab.
To be honest, we probably should have just here just gone for the crab anyway, because going for this ward is just telling them where we are, and the crab was towards the top half of the river too. So here, like, don't take that. Just go straight for the crab and then leave. Yeah, but also because we didn't reset when we had that timer too earlier, it wasn't good. So what you want to be doing is as soon as you leave base, you want to know like exactly how much gold you want to reset on. So reset on 400 would have been way better.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah. At this point, I just become pretty tilted. It's like
Okay.
0-2 or something, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, Caitlin's feeding, I'm feeding.
So I can't actually see because this
Game over.
This David. Ah, like insight is so bad though. Like what? Like I can't even see. Okay, so we're 0-2-2 right now. Okay. Oh, okay. To be fair, I've never used this for a VOD before, but I understand now why it's not very popular.
It's good for in-game recording, and it records local too. But yeah,
I'd try. I think is it Metal instead, or
Metal. Yeah.
there's another one as well. I can't remember what it's called though. It's like one of the Overwolf ones. Yeah, because this is.
Okay. It probably, I don't know, maybe if it's hosted in NA, that's why it's so crappy for you.
I mean, it shouldn't be. I think it's because I'm pretty sure they specify in Overwatch primarily. From what I know. Okay. Okay. So this is a little bit risky.
Yeah.
Just because we don't know where Yi is, but...
Yeah, I just figured I had every out. I have flash ult.
Okay. So one thing not to do is don't pop this plant. Because even if they don't have vision of you, like, they still see this cone on the map. So you've basically just told them where they are, so now this is gone, basically. Just give him free dragons. So now we haven't actually punished him properly, and also this is why the top started coming down. Like, Herald is up though, so that should be your primary focus. Okay, this is good. So now, like, yeah, so see how Yi is bot side? This is because he saw
I don't know why
top.
I didn't just...
Yeah, go on Herald.
I don't know why I didn't just go Herald here.
Oh yeah, so... Yeah, because we just go for our red, which our red is going to be there at a later point, right? Like, this is still going to be here, and we don't really need to go for it. And now we give you the opportunity to get Dragon and Herald. Which Herald is probably more important than Dragon early. Like, the first Herald is really, really important.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
I've heard so many mixed opinions lately. It's changed so many times this season, I feel like.
No, like, if you can get first Dragon before 8 minutes, then that's great. But after that, if it's a choice between Dragon or Herald, Herald is usually the better play. Because it gives you so much gold. Like, a tower is like nearly 1,300 gold in total. So if you get Herald and then get first tower, you and your ally are basically 2 kills worth of gold up. Which, or when you're playing somebody like Graves, especially a lethality user, that's going to be incredibly important. It's like super, super valuable. So here again, I hope we just... Okay, so we didn't just reset from here. This is... Okay, we should get this kill.
Yeah, she pretty much runs into me.
Okay, we can maybe get this one too.
Yeah, this is just me being tilted. It's just like come with this autopiloting. Plus, Yi could show up at any time here, so
yeah,
this is really dumb
since
play.
You didn't
this is really dumb play.
We should just back away. But yeah, we don't know what he could be. He could be here. He's more than likely on Dragon, but it's kind of hard for us to go to Herald now, to be honest, because if he comes, we have to just leave because we've got so much gold in us. So we've kind of missed our window to do Herald, but he hasn't done Dragon, which is interesting.
Just bronze things.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
There he is.
Yeah, so there we go. He's got the Dragon now. Ari is doing Herald alone.
Yeah, Ari started Herald, so I go.
I mean, fair play to her. That's the right decision, to be honest.
I was really surprised.
Okay, so... So you also don't have to run away like that. What you can do is just jump under its right arm and you won't get hurt.
Right.
Okay, so now we get reset off. So what do you think we should have probably done before we reset here?
Gone over the wall.
No, just take this camp away.
Uh-oh.
Because right now, if we leave base...
Okay.
Like, if we come out of base now, we're going to have to... Let me put... we're going to have to come all the way out here to this camp, and then go into this, and then into this, and then hopefully here. Whereas if we would have just cleared that camp away, we could have just gone straight here, hop the wall, kill it, and then we're bot. So it would have been way, way, way quicker and more efficient. So clear the side of the jungle that you want to path away from. So here, okay. So this is also one of the reasons why this is really bad, right? So one of the reasons why you don't go Lethality and Bruiser at the same time is because one of the big advantages to Umbral Glaive is because it's so cheap, it's only 2,300. What we can do then is, in the same amount of gold that we could, say, get a Mythic. So Gold Drinker is like 3,300, right? So we can basically, for an extra 100 gold, we can have both the Umbral Glaive and another Serrated Dirk. So we end up with a much earlier spike on the Umbral Glaive, which is good on Graves anyway because of the Black Hot passive and the Lethality. But then we also get a second serving of Lethality, basically. So we end up in a position then where we have a lot. But even though Whip is good, like, it doesn't, like, Bruiser Graves doesn't really synergize as well. Like, on Bruiser Graves, your goal is to basically stay alive and win through sustain and HP. On Lethality Graves, your goal is to basically be a carry, which I think is better overall, because if you learn how to be a carry as a jungler, then games are going to get much easier. It's going to be harder for you to get to the point where you're carrying every game, but then once you do, it's going to be much easier to actually win them out. Okay, so again, see, we kind of just ignored a camp just to kind of come for this fight, which we're not really going to get anything. Yeah, we're not going to get.
This is a dumb fight.
Yeah.
Then I get exhausted here.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then,
So don't tell.
I was frustrated with Caitlyn because
but
she wasn't auto attacking. I felt like, but I guess in replay she wasn't. She was trying, but
yeah. So the issue here as well is don't tilt in games, because like you're currently in bronze, so it doesn't really matter where you've previously been. Like, all that really matters is where you currently are. And we're also making a ton of mistakes, right? Like, for example, leaving that Gromp. Gromp is super quick for us to take, and it gives a ton of XP and a nice amount of gold as well. So there's no real point in tilting, especially when we're also doing things wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, to be honest, if we had another Serrated Dirk here, we could have potentially won this fight. Yeah. And we also had Flash here too. We had ult and Flash. And so if we would have flashed that Pike ult, we could have got a Q on as well. And we could have actually got kills there, even though we kind of played it wrong. So this is kind of another one of the things, because you're not really playing just like one champion, you're playing so many. You're going to put yourself in these positions where when fights do come up that can be good for you, you can't play them mechanically good enough to win. Because you're not used to the champion.
I notice, like, when I get tilted, like, my mechanics go to complete shit. Like, I've completely thrown 1v1s where I should have won because I was tilted, and I'm just, like, playing around, like, playing with my food, or, like, just not even caring. It's That's my biggest problem. I think, is just getting tilted.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's no real point to get tilted in the easy loads, because it's like everybody's kind of bad in the easy loads.
Yep.
Come on. Okay, so we dropped Herald mid. I mean, this is okay because Akali's not here. And we get quite a lot.
Right, I noticed they had 3 top, so...
Yeah, but as soon as the tower starts targeting this, like, instantly walk in. And also just stand next to the tower and auto. I just basically stand on top of it. This is fine. So here we should just be looking to get out. Especially because we've got 800 gold and we've got camps to farm. So, like, your main goal when you're playing these junglers that can farm, focus on your camps, and then if opportunities come up that are free for you to get something off it, then go for it. In these elos,
Mhm.
like ganking is rarely ever worth. It's most of the time it's not worth really doing
Okay.
that much. Like you basically just want to focus on farming up through jungle. What you'll then find is enemy junglers will just permanently gank in kind of areas that are just not good for them to gank in. So what you end up finding... Oh, okay, this isn't too bad. Okay, so...
I should just backed it off here.
Yeah, I mean, we
I
can...
didn't realize she got her passive with an assist. I think she's
Oh, yeah.
fired up or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be
yeah.
fair, like...
And then
The main issue here is that we burnt flash for no reason. We panicked. Like, there's no reason to panic there when the tower's hitting it. Like, we just flashed from, like, here, right? Oh.
right, I thought
We just flashed from,
I
like,
was
here. But she's killable.
anticipating the ult.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have red smite coming up. We have ultimate available. We have 1 item and a half. Even though we've got a ton of gold, she is killable because she's got no mana. But yes, her passive, she gets excited off anything. So it can be a kill, an assist, it can be an objective, it can be a tower, anything really gets it. Even if, say, for example, let's say enemy team are doing Baron. As Jinx, you get 1 rocket on Baron, and then the enemy kill it, you'll still get your passive.
I can't see the items, but I think she's been really ahead in lane too. So
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
this
this
was killable, but...
is just as lazy.
Oh, yeah.
It just path really poorly.
Yeah. So, like...
That was really smart of her, though.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect that. That's the other thing, like, playing in bronze after being a little bit, like, in gold plat, which I know is still low elo, but I just kind of expect people to be bad. And so I didn't even expect her to launch her ult there.
It's this thing, don't underestimate players, because all you'll end up doing is
Yeah, I
losing
definitely do
experience.
that.
Just kind of
Yeah,
play
I definitely do that.
the game up properly, and then just kind of play it slower. Like, right now, we have... what's our score looking like? We are 3-4-2, 93 CS. We could have had way more CS right now and way less deaths, and we would have been in a much better position. Also, again, like, a lot of our gold is somewhat kind of wasted because we're going for gold drinker here.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I don't think we've taken Krugs at all this game. So do you know how XP mechanics work? So
Yeah.
so if you're 1 level above a camp, how does that... What happens?
You lose 10% of the EXP.
Yeah, and it caps out at 5. So you'll basically lose up to 50% of the XP from a camp if you don't take it. So when you're playing someone like, let's say we're playing Lee Sin, then we probably wouldn't take it as much because, again, it's very slow and he doesn't really need it. But when we're playing somebody like Graves, that could be a massive monster later on into the game. Like, we always want to be taking them. I think they're still level 1, right? So I don't think we'll end up clicking
I think
on
I've cleared them once.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe,
I don't know
maybe.
if I end up clicking on it.
They are very weak, so I don't think we cleared in this game actually. I think this is the
Maybe
first
not.
one. Because we kept dying before we went to clear them.
I thought I did on my first clear, but maybe not.
No, because if you remember, we took red and then we went to the top fight and died to Leona.
Right.
So Umbral actually allows you to clear these, but also we should have a sweeper too.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
usually keep my yellow word if I've
Nah,
got
Super's
Umbral.
really good because on Graves, like, you need to know if there's a ward, because when you come to gank, like, let's say, for example, this is kind of, say the wave is here and enemy is here. Let's say, for example, it's an Akali with her E. If we sit in this brush and it's warded, she's just going to walk back here or save her E. But if we sweep in this brush, then she might use her E to try and start a fight with Ari, which, if she does that, then we can just walk up and kill her. So making sure that they don't know where you are is actually more important when you're playing a jungle that relies on ganking in a little bit of a more awkward way.
Okay.
If you're playing something
Try
like
that.
J4, then it's not as bad, even though you still take sweeper. But yeah, as a jungler, the majority of the time you want to take sweeper, because like right here, this could be warded and we have no idea.
Right, and I'm just waiting for Umbral to come back up.
Yeah.
But I saw Yi die and Akali's dead, and
Yeah.
those are like good
Actually, our
threats,
Umbral
so I just do it.
did come back up, but so we
Yeah,
know
right,
now.
yes.
But let's say, for example, it was warded as we walked
Right.
into the dragon pit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we would know when Umbral comes up. But let's say, for example, they've got a ward like back here,
there,
then we wouldn't actually see anything. Okay, so now we get this. And then hopefully we go and clear these camps away. So don't worry too much about getting all of them little...
Yeah, I don't know why I did.
Yeah,
I don't know why I did that. This is so silly.
Okay, so we clear this
Especially with
away.
Graves. Like I said, I knew I was tilted in this game and made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I figured
So
out
it's
a lot to
like
talk
in
about.
bronze, like a game is never over. Like even in like gold, plat, like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
throw games
yep.
super hard. So don't ever worry if a game is over or not. Like just play it out all the way through, focusing, and you'll be very surprised how many games you'll actually win because of that.
I do this a lot when I'm tilted too, to like really risk objectives. Like I see three or four mid, and that's why I'm not using my E here, because I'm just
I mean we do
ready
have
to go over
E.
the wall. I'm just anticipating them showing up, so not even using my E.
Okay. So see there, you went under its arm. That's what you should do more
Right.
so. Come on, insights. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we have a ton of gold. No point in really fighting here. So we get our gore, but right here, what we should be looking for is they have a Massey and a Jinx. Oh yeah, so Death's Dance is probably better.
Okay.
Not sure why we clicked on like say. Okay, so we went with Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart is good, but it doesn't actually do anything to Yi, so it's kind of pointless here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so his ultimate means that he can't get slowed or crippled, which Frozen Heart cripples his attack speed.
So he can't even get his attack speed lowered? Okay.
Yeah, no. So all this really for is a Jinx, but like because you're a bruiser, you need more HP. So going something like a Black Cleaver here would have been better, purely because it gives you a ton of haste. And yeah, it's pretty good all round. Like, oh sorry, Death's Dance here, my bad. Like that, because the reset passive on it as well is huge. It's really, really good. And the thing is, so let's say for example we go Umbral into Eclipse, then you know we can still go like More and Death Dance after that, because it's still really, really good. But then we could go things like Collector 2, we can go Cyrilda's, because what happens is Cyrilda's is percentage reduction, which always applies first, and then flat will always apply second. So what ends up happening is Cyrilda's brings them down by, brings the armor down by 30%, and then you also get the flat amount from the lethality after that as well.
Okay.
And also lethality scales throughout the game too, so as the game goes on, and as you level up, you get more out of the lethality. Plus, Cyrilda's just kind of nice because of the slow. Like for Graves, sticking to people is really, really important. So if you've got Fleet and Cyrilda's, then it's going to be very, very hard for them to actually get away from you, you know.
Yeah, I don't build that much. I don't build that item much.
Yeah, it's
I generally
really,
go for
really
more
good.
Doms.
Oh, no, like low Doms doesn't really do as much on Graves because you can't consistently auto.
Okay.
I guess you can go it, but
that was.
Cyrilda's is just better in general. Yeah, I don't know what the Q was.
I don't know. Must have been scratching my nose.
So now we get this, which is fine. We are holding on to this Herald, so we should probably look to get something on bot after this.
Yeah, and this is, I think, when I noticed they got like 4 top or something.
Yeah. Okay, so, but we're also, again, we're kind of not looking at what's going on the map. So we're not actually moving our camera about at all at this stage of the game. Which, this stage of the game is more important. Why do you think it's more important? Well, I mean, it's important at all stages of the game, but why do you think it's crucial at this point?
Well, Because we're getting in team fights and skirmishes and supporting,
Yeah.
you know, when people have
So
summoners up and stuff.
yeah, so let's say for example we FK over a fight and we see the Jinx just flashed. We know that we can use our flash to get on top of her and basically one shot her.
Right.
Especially if we're full lethality.
Yeah, and I've recovered a little bit from being full tilted, but I'm still like autopilot mode, which is
Yeah.
It's like I said, I knew it was a bad game.
Okay, so this is okay to pop it here because side lane towers give 550 gold when you pop them, which is good. It's basically going to mean that you and Ari, if you get this, are going to get basically a kill out of it, which is good. Usually second herald isn't worth as much because there's no plates, but this we should get this.
Mm.
There you go, nice. So, so again, this is the point where use your Gore Drinker. Let's see if you do when Insights wants to cooperate. Okay. So I think we actually use Gore Drinker there when... Yeah, so we actually use Gore Drinker
somehow
there in Q.
I missed my alt there too somehow. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, and we also have flash too.
a haircut. Yeah.
But we do get quite a lot of this. Okay, Senna keeps ulting the minions by accident, I guess.
Yeah, Senna is the carry at this point though. Caitlin's like 0-5 or something.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, so like one of the biggest issues that we're having is we're wasting all of our gold basically. So like all of the lead that we have gained throughout this game, like we've basically thrown it away.
This game was an anomaly too, because I almost always build Eclipse like into either Black Cleaver or sometimes Collector.
Yeah. I mean, Collector can be okay. Like on most champions, it's not amazing, but on Graves, because of the way his auto attacks work, it can actually be really good. Yeah, and autos too. So obviously if you run out of autos and you've got like red buff and then they burn to the range, they'll still die from Collector.
Yeah, I'm curious, like what's the reason? Like it has become sort of a meme, like Collector's bad, don't buy it. Like
so it's more so for ADCs. So what ends up happening is, let's say for example we're playing ADC, right? So first item we're going to end up getting, most of the time, if we're going an ADC that can go for a Collector, then we'd end up going like Kraken or Gale Force. Now what ends up happening here then is on second item, if we're really, really ahead, we can go Collector, and it is probably the stronger 2-item spike for pretty much all champions because lethality, great, okay, good stuff. And so it is probably it's a really, really good 2-item spike because it gives a ton of AD, like base, which is really, really nice, right? So because it gives 55 AD base, that's very, very nice. Where Lord Doms only gives a total of 30. So we get that extra AD, like 25 more AD is very, very big. Because AD is worth 35 just for one. So it's a lot of gold invested into that AD. Now what then happens though is, let's say for example, if we're playing against beefy teams with like bruisers or stuff like that, and we don't basically end the game on this spike, then what ends up happening is our third item, we're always going to go IE, or most of the time anyway, because we'll have the crit for it, but then we're not getting things like Lord Doms until fourth item. So here, this is where we're getting Lord Doms, which fourth item for a Lord Doms is super, super late, especially if they have thingy. So what we end up doing is, instead, it's better to get the Kraken or Gale Force, and then just second item, you would go, if say for example they're not that tanky, you could go things like PD, which gives you a lot more kind of combat power, especially if we're playing something like Jinx. But we can just go Lord Doms here, and even though we get less AD, we still get that IE spike, and also second item Lord Doms. It basically, that's where everybody's natural armor anyway starts making the item worth. So it's very worth for the armor that you actually reduce, same way as like the Collector does reduce armor, but then it's also good here, and then what we can do here is fourth, we can go something like a rapid fire cannon, and we get that extra range, so we can run people down or stuff like that, you know. So it's not that the item is terrible like some people make out. It's more so that it makes your build path really, really rough, for no real huge benefit, right? Like as ADC, you're really looking for this IE spike anyway, and then you basically play around that, which you can have that spike around 25 minutes fairly comfortably if you're farming like well enough, you know.
So even on Graves, like Eclipse into Black Cleaver might be better than.
No, so Graves Collector can be okay purely because of the way his auto attacks work. Because his auto attacks, you know, he can't do damage after a certain point. Having that extra little bit can really, really help. So here, like this flash was really not needed. So he was already charmed. He was already basically walking into you.
Yeah.
So the flash was kind of
trying to save the Senna, but yeah, she ended up chunking the shit out of him. Yeah. More than I expected.
Yeah. So yeah, we have been kind of wasting flash quite a lot.
Yeah.
So again, you only really want to flash if you actually need to. Okay, we smite this, we should kill her. So like, for example, just before there, like Collector would have killed her off, you know. And see how the goal like isn't really doing that much. Like we just used it on one person. Unless you're using Gold Drinker consistently on 3 or 4 people, it's never really worth it.
Okay, yeah.
Like if you had Eclipse here, like you would be doing so much more damage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you'd have your Eclipse by now, you'd be going into Cyrildas, so you'd basically have Cyrildas by now as well. So you'd be ridiculously strong.
You just didn't.
Yeah. So that's good for us. Pike is coming, but that's not really too big of a concern.
Renekton's big here, yeah. I don't know why he's so scared.
Okay, Renekton's never catching him.
Yeah. I thought he had Claw, but I don't remember if he does or not.
Okay. This is fine. So now we get the blue buff, which is good. Okay, so Call for Baron is a little bit risky. Why do you think Call for Baron is really bad here? There's 2 main reasons.
Well, top lane's pushing in on us.
That's not a big concern, because we still got tier 2.
We got Yi respawning. Ari's dead. There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, so like the main one, Caitlyn's bot, and we've got over 2,000 gold on us.
Yes.
So we really need to reset at this point, especially because again, like if say for example we were super ahead and the game was pretty much over, then resetting, you know, isn't as big of a concern. But we're not now.
Still pretty close here.
I mean, to be fair, we might just get this anyway.
Well, my thought too was like Senna and Renekton are here, and they're the 2 that are like, you know, bad. I mean, that's all of our team's damage.
Like another thing though is so Baron reduces your resistances too. So if Jinx and Leona would have just come. And I don't know what Yi's doing either. He went to farm bot side, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, it worked because the players just didn't expect it, which, I mean, is fine, but it's still like a really, really big risk. Because if Jinx would have came with Yi in that fight, and Akali was alive as well, right? So if Akali, Jinx, Leona, and Yi show up here now, like, we're gonna die. Like, super hard. And then, basically, all our lead is gone. But it did work, so we won't focus on it too much.
Well,
so here as well, like,
you know,
so this is kind of the point where your team is just reset, so you may as well just reset with them. Like, because, so look at all the gold that you've got. You're basically taking red buff here, then you're going to reset, spend this gold, and then you're going to come out and your red buff's going to be half gone. And so now we're just clear. So now we're just wasting Baron. Like Baron is basically a tool that's used to push. We're kind of just taking camps. So this kind of when a lot of players say like like people in low elo don't know how to close the game out, stuff like that. It's kind of around situations like this, because like here for example, like we've got this really big tool for pushing, and we're not actually pushing with it. So so see right now, like look, our red buff is nearly halfway gone. Our Baron buff is a quarter of the way gone. Well, nearly halfway as well. So now we're kind of in a position where we've just wasted almost half of both of those buffs. And we haven't really gained anything crazy big off it, like... Also, again, no sweeper. Like, at this point of the game, your goal is to basically sweep their jungle. And then what you can do to easily end games out, especially if your itemization was better here, what you could do is you could literally sit in a bush that's unwarded, wait for them to come and just one-shot them. Because you just auto-E, Q auto, and then ult, and they'll be dead. Like, especially if you red smite too. So yeah, see here again, like we have this Baron, and we haven't even touched a minion with it yet. Yeah. And so see now how he is getting kills. Now they might win this, but even if they do win this, it still kind of makes the play bad, So this is one of the big things as well with getting out of these elos that you have to kind of do. You have to analyze your play and go, okay, well we did win this. So if you were to say, okay, results-based analysis, we won this fight anyway, so this was good, right? But it's like, no. So a lot of the times in these elos, if you want to get out, you have to be able to distinguish, is what I did good, or did it work? Did it work because the enemies, aren't playing well, or did it work because it was actually the right play? So that's probably one of the most difficult things for you to do in kind of these lower elos. So that's why usually breaking your game down and going back to basics as much as possible is kind of one of the best things you could do. So here we get her flash, but see, so actually, yeah, perfect example. So see how our entire team died down? Where we should have been there. We're pretty strong. We're nearly on 5 items. But we're kind of chasing a Leon. Oh no. Well, we're kind of chasing a Leona, which I'm not sure. Do we even get this kill? I mean, maybe if we red smite and ult, then maybe, but...
This is just kind of true. I didn't even get her.
Yeah.
I thought.
And now maybe we even die. Potentially. Okay. So yeah, so now our Baron is basically gone, and the only minions we really touched were the ones when we were chasing after Leona. Because as well, if we were in that fight and we would have got a lot off, we would have got that inhibitor, reset, got our more of our Mortius, and then one hit it inhibs down. Like, we want to play around... when you get Baron, once you've taken the first inhib, that's the hardest part of any game. Because when you take that first inhib, after that, then you have pressure in that lane no matter what. So then you don't really need to go to that lane. Somebody can like push it just a little bit, and then go to another lane. And then all of a sudden you push that down. They have to respond to the Super's top lane, for example, here. And then we get mid inhib. And then when they're responding to the Supers in mid and top, we then go and get bot inhib. Stuff like that, Or we could just go and rush a Baron at that point, because the Supers are going to take their base if they come. Okay. Oh. Yeah, so I didn't... I would have downloaded the game, but I didn't think it would be this laggy, to be fair. Okay, so we do have Q, we have E. So what you probably want to do in kind of these situations is just auto, and then E to the side, Q into the wall. Okay. So Akali's probably going to just pop out and kill us, so...
Yeah, I'm hoping they can stop her, but...
So yeah, and that, like there, just use the E first. Like, we held on to our E for some reason. Just E instantly and get out. Okay, so now we're dead for 40 seconds. So yeah, this way we're going into Lord Doms, where Lord Doms isn't really amazing on Graves.
So Saria's better?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I'll try that
Like
out.
you
I
can
just
go with
have always-
some like say for example if they're like giga tanky, like a really tanky, then you can go
Mhm.
it. But yeah, in general, I think Serylda's is usually better.
It's real this, yeah.
Yeah. Plus,
I also thought the crit would be nice on Graves because you're passive.
but I mean, like, so what other crit do you have? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
that's
like,
true.
we don't really have enough crit to make it worth it all. Like 20% is neither here or there. Plus as well, like we only get 30 AD, whereas Serylda's we get 45. Serylda's is a little bit more expensive, don't get me wrong, but then we also get ability haste, which is really valuable on Graves, because obviously the more you have your abilities up, the more autos you can use because of your E, and then obviously you can slow them very easily. Even if you just throw your W at them, that will slow them, and then you'll be able to kind of run them down. Obviously it does give the same amount of armor pen as well, so there's no real reason on Graves. It's like if you are a champion that uses crit, you'd go Lord Doms. If you're a champion that doesn't really use crit, then you go Serylda's, basically.
Okay.
That's why you see things like Senna as well go Serylda's, because the slow is nice and you go lethality anyway. Well, I mean, you can go Kraken, don't get me wrong, but like most Senna's go Eclipse.
I was just like trolling there. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. So the thing is, at this point of the game,
they're-
it's like if you win or lose, doesn't really matter too much, right? Like obviously the LP comes at the end, but you're like these games, like at this point, it's always going to be kind of flipping low elo, like always, and we still haven't got a sweeper either, so we can't even bush bait. So we dive 20. So let's have a look what else happens here. Again, at this point, the game is kind of not in your hands as much. Also, blue isn't really as important on Graves. Just go straight for your red buff.
Okay.
So I mean, this game still goes on for 7 minutes.
Yeah. It's a long one. Like 30, 38 minutes or something.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my games. Whether you do well or not, you end up playing for 40 minutes.
Well, so this is the reason behind that is because we're not really playing early game properly.
Yes.
So
and
like
I
here, like
wasted
we can never solo Baron as Graves.
No, I'm trying to get my teammates to come, but they wanted to chase mid. And maybe it's the wrong play anyway.
I mean, to be fair, we just killed 3 of them. We may as well just push. It's going to be a 4v2. So we may as well just push and go for the inhibs. Again, the inhibs are more important. Like, Baron is basically a tool that's used to get the inhibs. So it's like, if you can get the inhibs without it, then that's usually the better play. So Ye's probably just going to come here and clear everybody up with Pike, right? Like,
you said I'm coming off of it because we don't rotate over. So
yeah, so here as well, like Renekton's fighting
Renekton
him,
so. Right.
Oh, actually, he does get him, I suppose. Okay. Like, if this Pike wasn't walking around the back, then...
Yeah, he's really weak right now, too.
But yeah, now
but then I see a Kali, so... Yeah, just call it off.
Yeah, we're gonna die here. Okay. Managed to get out, but... Let's just skip to close to the end, because there's not really... There is obviously things to focus on at these points, but they're not what your main focus should be on to improving in this moment right now. Okay. So yeah, we get that, we end up winning. Like, again, at this point, it's... So usually when it gets to this point of the game, it's basically a loss of both teams. because it basically means that both teams have made so many mistakes that the game has ended up going to 37 minutes, which, you know, shouldn't really happen as much. And if it does, you should be in a position where you're really, really big, like you're huge, right? So the main things that basically to work on is, number one is going to be clearing. So what I want you to do is for your foreseeable games. So number two is play Graves. So Graves is fine to climb on. He's not really going to be too... He's not going to give you any issues. And if you like the champion already and it's your most played, go with it. So one of the first one actually is just going to be play Graves. Next one is just going to be clear everything. So in your first clear, just clear away everything. And then gank a lane. What you can also do is you can also go jungle item and only one pot, and then it guarantees that you get Dirk with just clearing because of the way Futures Market works. So, but either way, don't worry about that. Just
start. You said just start red pot.
Yeah, just one.
Like rather than refillable.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So you can do that because then it's going to be way cheaper, and you save 100 gold, which full clear is about 900 gold. So then with another 100, that's thing, and then with Futures Market, you end up with
Futures.
Yeah. So the first thing is just clear away everything. Like don't worry about ganks and stuff like that like early, because you'll get opportunities to gank anyway. And like I said, one of the biggest kind of spikes on Graves is going to be A, when you get that Umbral because it's a full item, and then B, once you get a second rated Dirk, then you're going to be really big. So then you can like just start forcing fights and you end up really big. So then it's play Graves, because at the moment like there's a lot of mechanical issues that's coming up for you. Mm-hmm. The third one is obviously itemization. I know we've previously mentioned this, but items are going to be super important, because at the moment we're basically taking two different ways of playing a champion and trying to merge them into one, and obviously it just doesn't really work. It's like, for example, Ezreal has AP and AD scalings. We would never go both though, because then you're not going to do enough with the AP scalings and you're not also going to do enough with the AD. So kind of the same situation, like basically sort your items, and then four, when you do get ahead and you do get buffs, use the buffs for what they're made for. Another thing, so like buffs as well, especially that Baron, that was huge. So another thing with the clear everything, what you want to do is highlight a lane that you want to go to early and then clear towards that, because then you have an opportunity to gank it at level 4 and then go from there, because you'll also be level 4 from full clearing too, which is really big. So honestly, I think genuinely if you just focus on these three things, you'll climb very easily. But at the moment we're just kind of walking around not really with a clear game plan or kind of idea of what we want to do in the game, and because of that we're basically losing games because of it. So yeah, I think focus on them things for now, and that's all you really need to focus on. Just like late game stuff like that doesn't really matter. If you're not hard something early game and then managing to carry with it, then that's the thing. The like step process that we want to go through when learning, especially in jungle, is first you need to learn how to get ahead early. Then you need to learn how to make sure that the gold that you get ahead with is used properly, and then after that, then we want to focus on making sure that we can actually close the game out. So those are kind of the main objectives. So I think focus on them for the time being. Like again, sorry, Insights was very laggy. It's a bit painful to watch. But yeah, so I'll end the recording there.